Lightning roars in the distance, shattering the ground around the King of Fists, a title given to the mightiest warrior in the entire region. He is a peculiar man who no longer even remembers his real name. All he knows is his identity as the King of Fists. His fists are bloodied and bruised, and dead bodies surround him from every direction. Out of all the mysterious enemies who attacked him from every corner, only 2 remain, and both of them feel monstrously powerful. The king tries to zoom toward one of them, but the coward instantly uses his companion as a meat shield to save himself. The king looks at the body split apart. Seeing how the man did not hesitate to cut down his own ally, he realizes 2 things. Either the guy fights dirty as hell, or, judging by the insignia on his sword and the pure cruelty in his eyes, he belongs to some demonic faction. The opponent laughs while sliding toward the king. He admits he was not expecting the King of Fists to last this long, but the king cuts off his monologue immediately. He is ending this fight in 10 strikes. The opponent bursts out laughing and unleashes a barrage of dark energy waves. The king zigzags around the attacks and closes the distance in an instant before slamming him with a fist coated in lightning. The opponent's eyes widen. He cannot believe the speed this monster possesses. The king does not bother replying. He answers only with his fists, strike after strike, until he reaches 9 hits. Only 1 more remains, but something suddenly feels wrong. His fists are no longer moving naturally. Someone else is controlling them. Sure enough, the second opponent reveals himself and starts deflecting the king's attacks using energy threads wrapped around his arms like puppet strings. Restrained in place, the king is left wide open as the other enemy drives a sword straight through him. The King of Fists cannot believe this is how it ends. The opponent smirks and declares that the legend of the King of Fists dies today. But the king refuses to accept defeat so easily. With nothing but raw willpower, he snaps the energy threads apart and slams his opponent into the ground hard enough to shatter the earth itself. The enemy barely manages to dodge in time, escaping with only a small graze. The thread user exhales shakily and admits the king truly was one of the greatest fighters in the world. His companion nervously laughs and says he was almost cooked. Without those energy threads, he would have been turned into fertilizer. The opponent steps forward to mock the dying king one last time. But the king suddenly moves. He drives a brutal uppercut into the man's jaw and smiles weakly. That was strike number 10. The strength finally leaves his body, and darkness slowly consumes his vision. In his final moments, the only thing he regrets is not landing 1 more clean hit. After the battle against the demonic enemies, lightning crackles across the middle of a city square. The King of Fists hears muffled voices and distant laughter all around him. Slowly, he opens his eyes and sees a beautiful woman sitting beside him. He wonders if someone actually saved him. His body has no wounds. He is surrounded by luxury. He glances at his reflection and nearly spits out his tea. This is not his face. He stares at the unfamiliar reflection in horror, wondering if someone stitched another man's face onto his own. Meanwhile, maids scurry around the mansion, tending to their duties. His thoughts drift back to the men who killed him in his previous life. If they truly belong to demonic summoners, then they still have not mastered the ritual yet. Otherwise, the entire continent would already belong to them. He keeps staring at his reflection, trying to process the situation before deciding he needs answers immediately. He hurriedly grabs what he thinks is clothing, only to realize he accidentally wrapped himself in a curtain like a broke vampire. Even worse, he is completely out of breath after only a few steps. His new body is so fragile it feels like a newborn deer. He immediately labels everything around him as garbage. There is supposedly a massive merchant guild on the other side of town, so he starts digging through the previous owner's belongings. That is when he discovers the man's name was Jinian. He wonders what kind of life this guy lived. Maybe the letters scattered around the room are about money, women, or gambling debts. Turns out the previous owner was an absolute party demon. The guy spent his days drinking and his nights laying pipe like rent was due. The king realizes there is no trace of another aura inside the body. As ridiculous as it sounds, reincarnation might actually be real. That is when someone suddenly calls out Jinian's name. The king looks over with pure contempt. Just, who is this bozo? The physician remembers hearing from a nurse that Jinian has been acting strangely lately. He serves him dragon and phoenix soup, explaining that while it has invigorating properties, it is dangerous for someone who was practically on death's door. The youth tournament is also right around the corner. The king immediately decides he needs to start training and kick out this worthless messenger first. The demonic faction and the demon army are both his enemies now. Jinyon cracks his knuckles and realizes he is going to have to hand out a lot of knuckle sandwiches. At this point, the entire world seems to be begging for one. A variety of nutritious dishes are laid on the table by the maids. They are glad that he can finally eat solid food, a big upgrade from his exclusive porridge diet. Jinyon walks in, revealing a buff physique. He's glad that his breakfast is already ready. He tells the maids that he'll have this for breakfast every day. They scurry away and whisper about his health. It's gotten better, and he's even ripped. Jinyon starts eating and notices the maid still lingering. That's when the physician also arrives without any invitation. Jinyon is annoyed as the physician greets him like an old friend. Jinyon's not sure why the physician is still sucking up to him, but he just smirks. They'll find out his true motive soon enough. He coldly asks the physician what's the matter. The physician puts on an Oscar-worthy performance, that he was lonely since Jinyon stopped asking for him. Looks like Jinyon's healthy as an ox, so that's why the physician wasn't needed. Jinyon just smirks, raising an eyebrow and asking if the attempt to get rid of him was considered work. The physician is taken aback and tells the young master that there's a misunderstanding. The soup was good for the body. Jinyon brushes himself off, telling the physician that it was poison. The physician yells that he is Jinyon's personal physician. How can he think about killing him? If he has any problems, then the physician will leave. As the physician turns to leave, Jinyon calls him. With a hint of annoyance, he reminds the physician that he can't come whenever he wants and leave whenever he wishes. Since when did he become head of the estate? The physician realizes who holds the most power between the two of them. Jinyon gives him a letter and a brush and tells the physician to start writing. He needs to write that his family is here, his illness is severe, and the physician believes that he will remain in the safe house for the time being, and it seems that the physician wasn't able to kill him. So, what are his next orders? The physician freezes, and Jinyon asks why he is hesitating. The physician tries to pull wool over his eyes again, but Jinyon throws a chopstick so fast that it slams next to the physician and cracks the wall, even grazing his jugular. Jinyon tells the old man that he's not here to play games. The physician still insists that he has nothing to do with it. Jinyon explains that the dragon and phoenix soup is good for a healthy man, but for someone as sickly as him, it was nothing more than poison, and he's sure that the physician knew. The physician also showed signs of distress when he checked Jinyon's pulse. He's sure that the physician didn't make this plan on his own. There's another party, and that's why he needs to write the letter. The physician snaps, revealing a cruel smile and calling him a troublemaker. Jinyon realizes this is his true form. The physician yells that he tried to make Jinyon's death as painless as possible. He glances at the maids and smirks. Looks like he'll have to kill everyone in this room to ensure silence. He brings out a dagger, but before he can make a move, Jinyon teleports next to the old man and karate chops his head, splitting it like a melon, while holding a piece of roast in his other hand. He looks down on the unmoving physician and also calls his body pathetic for hurting after a strike like that. He really needs to get his King of Fists strength back, and once he does, he can take down the whole Silver Merchant Guild. Once he returns, he'll have to look into the physician's background as well. As soon as he gets up, his vision starts to get blurry. Memories flood his mind. The previous host's memories spiral into his mind, and he realizes that he was an unfortunate soul. He was the firstborn of a rich family, but was not smarter than his younger brother, nor stronger than his youngest brother. He was a disappointment to the family name. To make up for his lack of talent, he started spending money like crazy, drinking and gambling, and becoming a scumbag. By the time Jinyon realized his mistake, it was already too late. Jinyon started starving himself and got weaker, and he was sent to the safe house. The family won't give a single flying damn about him. No one will come to visit him in the safe house either. Well, at least no one will interrupt his training, but he can believe that the previous owner wasted such a good body. It wouldn't have taken him long to become a master with his knowledge, his past life, and a couple of elixirs. Jinyon freezes and looks at the pile of gold coins by his side. He can believe that he's not broke like his last life. He can just buy elixirs. He also looks at the physician's unmoving body. He needs to get rid of that as well. The next couple of months go along smoothly. Spring arrives and leaves. Autumn claims the estate, and winter also arrives. A year passes, and someone greets the maids. Member of the Silver Guard Mok arrives with a letter for Jinyon. The maids tell Mok that Jinyon is over there in the courtyard. Mok looks at Jinyon sitting by himself. His physique is ripped and looks like he just came out of training. The season changed, and Jinyon finally developed a mana center. He managed to master all the martial arts he needed to survive in this world. For explosive speed, he used the step technique. For power, he used the enlightened body technique. For dexterity and agility, he used the lightness technique. There are 10 levels to the white lightning techniques, which allow the user to control lightning mana. He has reached level 4, but it is still far from what he had in his previous life. He opens his eyes and notices a leaf floating next to him. In the blink of an eye, he somersaults and shreds the leaf in half with a devastating kick, but he is still not satisfied with his performance. Mok notices Jinion's attack and is glad to see him doing well. He brings out a letter from home and still cannot believe that this man is the same sickly womanizer that the family didn't want to see on Thanksgiving. Jinion reads the letter and realizes his father is sick in bed. He asks Mok why he is sick. Mok explains it is because of the Gu Yang clan. Their family has been paying that clan a protection fee all this time, and all of a sudden, the fee has skyrocketed until they can't bear it anymore, and they have done nothing to deserve that unimaginable fee. Another clan was trying to increase the taxes on trade by a ridiculous amount, and the Gu Yang clan didn't get involved and didn't protect them. They can't even complain to the guards because Gu Yang is the head of the guards. Jinion has heard the name Gu Yang, a vicious fellow and a true master of martial arts. He nonchalantly tells Mok that all they need to do is kill Gu Yang, and the problem will solve itself. Mok nervously tells Jinion there's another reason Master Li fell ill. His younger and youngest brothers were fighting with each other using a sword, and Master Li collapsed after looking at it. Jinion imagines his father getting so angry that he collapses from the stress. He can't believe that those two idiots used swords in a sparring match. Mok tries to keep Jinion out of it, worrying for him, but Jinion decides to do something about it. He gets up, and the air around them immediately shifts. He tells Mok he'll go personally. Later, Mok tells his fellow guards that Jinion is a whole new person, a buff martial artist who can take down anyone in the blink of an eye. A red-haired guard just laughs his head off. He teases Mok for being mistaken. He can't be a martial artist. He must be a master of arts in the bedchamber. That brat is nothing but a womanizer. No one believes him, and the vice captain of the Silver Merchant Guard arrives. Han smiles, glad that the young master's health has finally recovered, and he has also become a martial artist. He always had the physique for it. He remembers training the young master as a kid. Han also grabs the redhead's head. Asking when the young master will return, Mok looks at the redheads struggling against their captain's grasp. Everyone hears the young master walking up to the courtyard. The entire building sparkles and is well kept. Jinion finds it incredible. The maids fawn over Jinion, but Jinion doesn't pay them mind and steps away. He wonders why no one is coming to greet him as the heir. That's when all of the soldiers arrive with swords in their hands and congratulate the young master on his return. They greet him with honor, and Vice Captain Han is glad to see that Jinion is buff and in good health. The redhead looks at Jinion and Han, wondering why they bother greeting him at all. In the past, he used to ignore their greetings and go straight for the nearest maid. Jinion smirks and greets all of the guards honorably. They are moved to tears that the young master has greeted them. Looks like he's finally turned a new leaf, and it feels as if a strange martial artist has entered the house, and they're glad that he's an ally. Later, Han and Jinion step next to the master bedchamber. That's when a voice greets Jinion with a hint of sarcasm. It's his younger brother, the third son of the family, Ja-eon. Ja-eon tries to squeeze Jinion's shoulder and intimidate him, but the squeeze doesn't even faze him. He glares at Ja-eon, remembering how he used to beat Jinion up. Han tries to defuse the situation by grabbing Ja-eon's head and pulling it away, but Ja-eon just slaps the captain, humiliating him publicly and telling Jinion that he's pathetic, and how dare he look at Ja-eon. He'll make sure that Jinion never lifts his head again. Big mistake, as Jinion gently taps Ja-eon's cheek and punches it so hard that it knocks him out. Ja-eon looks at his big brother with tears in his eyes. Jinion calls him pathetic. Here he was, excited to see his younger brother. Jinion grabs his shoulder and squeezes it so hard that Ja-eon wits in pain and calls Jinion a bastard. Jinion smirks sadistically. It looks like he'll have to teach how to talk to his older brother. Back at the estate, everyone is murmuring. Hwa-eon, Jinion's younger brother, notices something's happening in front of his father's quarters. He asks the vice captain what's going on. The captain greets Hwa-eon. A little fight broke out between Jinion and the youngest brother. Hwa-eon starts worrying about Jinion. Looks like Ja-eon is picking on him again. He rushes to stop that hot-minded little buffoon. But when he bursts into the room, the scene completely shocks him. Jinyan is pinching Jaeyeon's ears and reprimanding him about starting a fight in front of his father's quarters. He then looks at Hwayeon and asks what's going on. With Jaeyeon still in timeout, Hwayeon tells Jinyan he's glad that he's returned and seems healthy. Jinyan glances at his brother and looks at his bandaged arm. He asks if Jaeyeon did that. Hwayeon nervously says there's nothing serious, but Jinyan already has his hand raised and slaps the living snot out of Jaeyeon to teach him a lesson. How dare he draw his sword against his brother? Jaeyeon apologizes, and Jinyan reminds him to call him sir. He's his older brother, not his friend. Jaeyeon swallows the humiliation and can't believe that Jinyan did this to him. Jinyan used to give him massages whenever he was beaten up by Jaeyeon. No way is he the same weakling brother. Hwayeon still can't believe that Jaeyeon overpowered Jinyan in the past, and now the tables have turned. Just what in the world happened while Jinyan was away? Jinyan tells his brother not to worry about it. He looks at the pile of scrolls in front of Hwayeon. The employees show a lot of names belonging to the Gu-yang family. Everyone from the guards is recommended by the same person, Hu Gu-yang, the vicious bastard running the cartel. He tells Hwayeon that if either of his brothers is communicating with the Gu-yang family, they need to let him know right now. The air around him shifts, and his brothers freeze because of his intimidating aura. But they're loyal to the bone to their clan, and complain about Jinyan suspecting them. Jinyan looks at his brothers complaining and smiles. Looks like he won't have to kill them now. He asks Hwayeon if all the executives will be in the General Assembly tomorrow, and if so, then he'll attend as well. He turns to leave without explaining why. His brothers wonder what in the world he went through in his time of seclusion. Jaeyeon even throws a tantrum because he was supposed to be the top dog around here. Jinyan walks up to his sickly father, Master Lee. His father asks what the commotion outside was, and Jinyan smiles. Nothing to worry about. And he heard that his father fell ill due to stress. The old man tells Jinyan that he just can't take stress like he used to. He reaches his hand and caresses Jinyan's cheek. Looks like he's truly healthy, and he is so relieved. Jinyan is moved beyond words. He remembers in his past life being an orphan and taking up the way of the fists. But in this life, he has a father, a loving family, and a clan to call his own. He tells his father not to worry. He'll make sure that no stress stands in his way anymore. He will remove the source of stress. His father flinches, asking what he means by remove. Jinyan just grins, telling him not to think about it. The next day, the General Assembly starts. Hu Gu-yang, master of the Gu-yang family, is also here. They notice Jinyan and wonder why he is attending. Maybe because he wants to seem important. Hwayeon tries to talk about the personal guard, and Gu-yang interrupts him rudely, saying that young Master Jinyan hasn't been assigned his guards after his return, and he is the perfect candidate in mind. Members of the Silver Brigade are annoyed that this bastard is gaining on them, but Gu-yang shatters the member's glass in a show of strength. No one says a word, but Jinyan interrupts his monologue. He has an issue with the personnel Gu-yang recommended. He wants to make his own suggestion to dismiss Captain Hu Gu-yang. Everyone freezes. No way did young master challenge Gu-yang's authority. Gu-yang scoffs. Has he forgotten about his illness and how he has no power over the house? Gu-yang didn't know that Jinyan was the king of fists. He smashes the table in front of Gu-yang in a single blow, telling everyone that the Silver Merchant Guild belongs to him. Everyone freezes when they hear the suggestion about dismissing Captain Gu-yang. Jinyan had already discussed it with his brother Hwayeon. Hwayeon wanted to know why Jinyan was attending the General Assembly in the first place, and also why he was walking so fast. A mere merchant guild can't stand up to those gangsters. All they have to do is bow their head and live in peace. Jinyan tells Hwayeon that weak people are always trampled first. Haven't you seen what being weak gets them? Jinyan smirks, telling Hwayeon that the others will devour him if he is weak, and he also needs to look at their guild. Hwayeon looks at the courtyard, and sure enough, a lot of guards are wearing red uniforms. Jinyan points out that their squad is being overrun by the Gu-yang clan. Hwayeon realizes it's true. He never notices how many Gu-yang bastards are in their own squad. Jinyan gently pats his brother's shoulder, telling him not to worry about it. Big brother will take care of it. That's why Hwayeon is presently looking at his brother from toe-to-toe with the captain. Is this how he will be taking care of the issue? With fists instead of words. Gu-yang didn't expect Jinyan to resort to violence. All the members of the Gu-yang family draw their swords, rushing towards their captain, asking Jinyan what the meaning of this is. Even the master of the Gu-yang clan wonders what the wild child is thinking. How did he go from smashing maids to smashing tables? Has he lost his goddamn mind? The captain of the Silver Guard draws his sword as well, yelling at the bastards from the Gu Yang clan. How dare they draw their swords against the heir of the family? He asks Jinyon to stand behind them. Jinyon's personal guards shield him from the Gu Yang clan, but they look at Jinyon and freeze, realizing that he is the real danger. Jinyon brushes his hair. How dare the Gu Yang family raise their hand and their sword against their employers? The guards flinch, and his own allies freeze. Jinyon mutters that it makes him want to beat them more. He also tells the captain of the Gu Yang clan that he owes him an apology. The captain wonders why. Jinyon just smirks. After all, he ruined Gu Yang's retirement plans, referring to the plan where Master Gu Yang was trying to get the physician to assassinate him while he was recovering from his illness. Then Gu Yang started a fight between his brothers, trying to turn them against each other to eliminate any threats, and also cause his father to fall ill due to the stress. He knows that the Gu Yang clan was trying to get into one of his brother's ears, referring to Ja-Aeon. If he had succeeded, the Silver Merchant clan would belong to Gu Yang, and Ja-Aeon would only be a figurehead. The Gu Yang captain just laughs hysterically. Young master and his delusions, he claims, but Jinyon just takes a step forward, claiming to have killed the assassin whom Gu Yang had sent. The captain freezes, realizing that his fate is about to change. He stutters, asking Jinyon if he really killed the physician. Jinyon just turns away, telling the captain not to feel too bad about it. He made it painless with a single blow. He clicks his feet in annoyance, telling Hu Gu Yang that he'll have to try harder to take over the guild. They will also need compensation for all the damages. Hu Gu Yang starts coagulating purple energy in his fist. Jinyon smiles. The captain has fallen for it, as he soars through the air with a blazing fist, asking Jinyon if he is a deathfish. Jinyon clenches his fist, and lightning crackles around it. He goes toe-to-toe with the captain of the Gu Yang clan, a shield of purple energy clashing violently against a veil of lightning. All the guards shield their eyes, wondering where the lightning came from. Since when did the young master know martial arts? They would land heroically facing each other. The guards are dumbfounded that the young master can use martial arts and block their captain's fist. Jinyon just cracked his shoulder. How can the captain of his guard force attack the heir, and also after he's only recovered from his illness? Though it would be different if it were a duel. Gu Yang realizes that this cocky bastard is provoking him. His newfound martial arts skills are making him hot-headed, but he falls for it, telling the guards and members of his clan to stand as witnesses as the young master has agreed to this duel. He asks Jinyon if he's happy now, and Jinyon squares up, telling Gu Yang to get ready for the fight of his life, because they're going to dance till one of them dies. The captain brings out his sword, asking Jinyon if he has a superior master backing him up. Looks like he's skilled, considering he's just a beginner. However, the difference in experience makes them worlds apart. He rushes towards Jinyon, sword in hand. He swings the blade with everything in his guard, but Jinyon dodges it effortlessly. Experience, he says. Lightning crackles around his arm, and he tells the captain that if he wishes to lecture him about experience, then maybe he should look at his own reflection. He hits the captain squarely in the solar plexus, telling him to come back in 100 years when he's ready for another duel. The blow sends him flying through the air. The captain can't believe that Jinyon is so strong, but Jinyon is far from over. He uses lightning step to zigzag through the air at breakneck speed, appearing next to the captain and swinging his fist. The captain parries the blow with his blade and is pushed to the corner. They exchange blows, and Jinyon is quickly overwhelming the captain. This can't be someone who has just learned martial arts. The captain wonders if Jinyon is the true hidden master, but that's impossible. Pink lightning crackles around his blade as he goes for the killing blow. 3 changes of the sword, he yells, and his sword immediately shifts its color. He yells at Jinyon, promising to make his death a painful one, but Jinyon ducks the blow effortlessly, crouches next to the captain, and concentrates all his energy in his fist to hit the captain with a mind-blowing sky uppercut. The captain shoots through the roof, soaring through the air like a comet. Master Li looks at what's happening from a distance. He grins. Looks like his son has learned martial arts. Jinyon stands triumphantly over the fallen captain, but he still doesn't smile. The guards of the Gu Yang family rush towards the young master. Jinyon wonders if he will have to kill them as well. One of them yells that he verifies there was no problem with the duel. However, the Gu Yang clan will continue to challenge them to duels to avenge the captain, and there's nothing the silver merchants will be able to do about it. The silver gang freezes, so Jinyon takes a step forward, telling them not to be idiots. They won't walk away scotangent free, but he also needs to make it clear that they have a problem with him, not the guild. Hua Eon yells at his brother not to be reckless, but Jinyon repeats himself. The Silver Guild belongs to him. It also belongs to his father, and the guards who greeted him when he was a troublemaker, and the maids who were happy to see him eat. He will not allow this guild to go up in smoke to trashy clan members like them. He tells the Gu clan to get out of his sight. They're all fired, and can pack their bags. The Silver Brigade smiles, and the Gu Yang clan looks like they're going to have a massive Caesar. They turn to leave, trying to salvage what remains of their dignity. Jinyon stands in front of his people. Mok is about to celebrate, but the captain covers his mouth. He shows the captain that he's not going to be able to do it, but he's going to do it. But the captain covers his mouth. He should be cursing himself and the guards for standing back while Jinyon put himself in danger. Jinyon looks at his brother, asking for an elixir. If he's going to take responsibility for the clan, it's only natural to fill his tank with premium gasoline. Ja-eon is nowhere to be seen, and Hua-eon laughs, promising the finest elixir for his brother. Finding new elixirs and hiring new guards, they're going to be busy in the future. Jinyon tells his brother that he already has a couple of people in mind for guard duty. Meanwhile, a mysterious gang asks if Jinyon is the same person they know. A few days ago, Jinyon returned to the guild. He also noticed that the captain hadn't eaten yet. The captain was working himself to the bone and had no time to eat or even rest. While the captain was working to the bone, those bastards from the Gu Yang family that were recruited into his crew were loitering around, laughing, and wasting his hard-earned money. How can some people goof off while others are too busy to eat and live off their money? He vows to destroy them all in a single sweep. He's so worked up that he crushes the railing he's holding onto. The captain asks the young master if he's okay. Jinyon lets go of the gravel and looks at the members of the Gu Yang clan. He needs someone capable to replace them, and it just so happens that he has the perfect candidates in mind. He walks up to a luxurious gambling den. The air is full of wonder. People are gambling. Some are talking to baddies, but they start murmuring the moment Jinyon arrives, calling him the greatest sucker to ever live. The person who is here at the Silver Guild is the person who's been ripped off frequently at this establishment. Jinyon ignores their muttering and glances around. People talk behind his back. That has been so long that they thought that he had died in a hole. They are eager to see how much money he blows tonight. Jinyon walks up to an inner chamber where a Fat A is standing guard. He walks quietly towards Fatty, and Fatty greets him like an old friend, asking how much he is going to lose this time and how much money he is going to donate this time around. He nudges Jinyon's shoulder, but Jinyon tells him to not touch him, calling him a greasy pig and telling him to open the door. The guard opens the door furiously, and Jinyon walks into the inner chamber and greets someone. This man is the master of the gambling den. Toxic Fox Myungho is glad to see that his friend is looking better. The retreat must have done him well. Two huge and bald twins stare at him and greet him. They are Jinbo and Myungbo. Myungho tells the twins not to be heartless. The twins apologize for not being courteous. Jinyon slides into the chair in front of Toxic Frog. Myungho tells the twins that Jinyon is a dear friend. They need to pay attention to him from now on. It's true that on the surface, they are friends. They spent their childhood together, and Myungho has always been by his side as a kid, although the reality of their relationship was a whole lot different. He was frequently abused by Myungho, who took away his gold coins. It looks like the word friend means something different in this younger generation. Myungho brings out a pouch of gold coins, asking Jinyon if he's ready to gamble. He knows that Jinyon is itching to play after being away for so long. In reality, Myungho is just itching to rip off someone as rich as Jinyon. He promises to be extra generous to commemorate his return. Jinyon doesn't answer, and Myungho wonders why he is not talking. He's starting to annoy Myungho. He quietly gets up and tells Myungho that he's been thinking about whether to kill him or not. He doesn't need Myungho, but he needs the twins behind him. They are capable people and would be perfect to run his guards. He also knows that Myungho has only used them as common tugs, and they are way too capable to be wasted in a gambling den. Jinyon has decided, and Myungho asks the twins why he is mumbling. Jinyon smiles charismatically, asking Myungho to hand the key to the vault. Myungho and the twins look at Jinyon's outstretched hand and wonder if he's lost his mind. Jinyon smiles. He's feeling generous, so he's going to take all the money Myungho has. The thousands of coins he was forced to invest in this gambling den, and the money he's been stealing from him since they were kids. Also, money to pay for the wounds that resulted from years of abuse. He estimates the total to be around 100,000 coins. Myungho burst out laughing. Did he lose his mind while on his healing journey? He tells the twins that they know math. Looks like Jinyan has lost his mind. He smiles and points at the vault. Sure, he's got the money, gold, treasures, and silver, and everything he can imagine. He steps closer to Jinyan and threatens him to get out of here. He won't be getting anything. If he leaves quick, he might avoid a painful future. And if he needs quick cash, he can always spot him for a high-interest loan. Jinyan ignores the blubbering idiot. Myung-ho looks like he's going to blow a nerve. He was going easy on Jinyan since he was sick, and here he is glaring at him and asking for the key to the vault and ignoring him. He tells Jinyan to wake up to reality. He is the great Myung-ho. He even starts tapping Jinyan's face, asking if he's tired of life. He tells the twins to introduce Jinyan to the new flooring that was installed. One of the twins grabs Jinyan, ready to smash his face. But Jinyan effortlessly gets up, grabs the twin's arm, and slams him into the ground several meters away. Another twin walks up to Jinyan, trying to hit him. But Jinyan ducks, catapults on the floor, and goes for a devastating axle kick that shatters the twins' femur. The twins yelp in pain, but they still get up, even though one of them has a cracked wrist and the other one a fractured ankle. They don't look afraid in the slightest, so it's clear that they are capable men. The twins rush towards Jinyon, and Jinyon dodges them, teleports behind them, and grabs their bald heads and bashes them together. He tells them to behave while he has a word with Myung-ho. The twins are lying unconscious on the floor. Myung-ho realizes that the tables have turned, and Jinyon brushes his hands, calling Myung-ho a dear friend. Myung-ho falters. He thought Jinyon was studying math. Looks like he was studying martial arts. Jinyon glances at the twins and tells Myung-ho that he's smarter than that. Myung-ho holds a switchblade and tells Jinyon to stay away. He wonders why he is so afraid and clenches his fists, rushing towards Jinyon. He's the same old Jinyon that Myung-ho beat up all those years ago. He who strikes first always wins. But he comes face to face with reality, and the table Jinyon flipped with a single kick. He then smashes through the table, grabs Myung-ho's head, and yells that he who strikes last always wins. Lightning crackles around his fist, electrocuting Myung-ho with 1,000 voltage waves of pain. The guards don't dare save him. Myung-ho barely hangs onto consciousness and slumps on the floor. Jinyon crouches next to his victim. He asks Myung-ho to get up. Myung-ho laughs hysterically, saying he's up. What in the world was he doing while he was away? Was he lying about recuperating, or was he training or something against a hidden master? Was his training just to get back at Myung-ho? Myung-ho remembers all the years he abused Jinyon. It wasn't that bad, or was it? Looks like he'll be dying tonight. He immediately switches his attitude and asks Jinyon if he can get him anything other than the key. Jinyon looks around, and Myung-ho apologizes for being rough, but they're still old friends, and what they had was special. Jinyon smiles, asking if they're friends. Myung-ho rises, hurriedly agreeing that they're friends, and he didn't realize how much Jinyon was upset. He promises never to rip him off again. He even hugs him and says he loves him. He hugs Jinyon and tells him that they're brothers. He tells the bald twins to treat Jinyon on par with Myung-ho from now on and congratulate him on his transformation. The twins congratulate him, and Myung-ho smirks. He knows that Jinyon is a sucker for flattery. This should be enough to manipulate this moron and buy him time so that he can run away with the twins and make a place for himself somewhere else. Jinyon tells the twins that they're brothers now. They're born together and are bound for life and death. Are they ready for that? The twins hesitate, and Myung-ho tells them that they're all brothers. They promise to consider Jinyon a brother from now on. Jinyon smiles, and a sadistic grin spreads on his face. Since they're brothers, it's only right to see who's the oldest one. He tells the twins to wait outside. He'll let them know who the older brother is. Myung-ho freezes, realizing that things have just gotten real. The twins leave, and Myung-ho is left standing face to face with Jinyon. Jinyon smirks. He tells Myung-ho that he knows how he managed to boss around those simple-minded fellows all this time, and that's not right. He wants to teach them right from wrong and take them to his guard force. Myung-ho freezes, asking Jinyon if he should just take everything he has, his money, his name, and his dignity. First, he comes out of nowhere and hits him black and blue, and now he wants the twins. He might as well kill Myung-ho, because without the twins, he can't survive in society. Jinyon agrees to his request and swings his leg so high that it hits Myung-ho in the chin. Myung-ho feels his vision blur. Jinyon smiles, thanking him for everything. He unleashes a flurry of bulos, each one packing the force of an ox. Lightning crackles around Myung-ho, and he realizes that Jinyon might actually kill him. He whimpers, and Jinyon freezes. He promises to give him the key in exchange for his life. Jinyon raises an eyebrow, telling Myungho to be more polite. Myungho curses Jinyon. What does he want? Please. Jinyon slams Myungho through the door, and the twins look at him. Myungho can't believe that Jinyon is as bad as Ja-eon. He lies on his back, dazed, because he got his bottom handed to him. He tells the twins that Jinyon is their new boss. He's so embarrassed that he wants to cry. But it's better for the twins to go somewhere safer than stay in a gambling house. After all, they've been so devoted for so long. The twins immediately agree. Myungho walks up to the gambling den, and all the guests notice how bruised he is. He is also missing his bodyguards. They wonder if they can kill him right here and right now, since the twins are gone. 5 seconds later, Myungho is surrounded by the guests of the gambling den. They're ready to screw him up. They're so furious that they launch an attack on Myungho with swords. Myungho holds his trembling fist. He's dead for sure, and not even the heavens can save him. But he'll smoke too soon as a fist crashes in front of him and sends all the guests flying. Someone yells at the guest for going after a beaten-up guy in swarms while he's bloody. If they want to kill him, they need to wait until he's recovered. Jinyon stands in front of everyone, with the twins carrying treasure chests behind him. He tells the twins to take everything worthwhile. Myungho limps next to Jinyon, telling him not to act like a hero after he stole everything. The twins thank Jinyon for sparing Myungho. Anyone who's been to the gambling house has always wondered why the twins stayed by Myungho's side. Some claimed they were slaves, and the others said they followed him out of fear. But they weren't sold as slaves, and they weren't afraid. He smiles, looking at the twins and realizing he doesn't understand people sometimes. Someone notices Jinyon and mutters, "Impossible. Is he really Jinyon?" Later, the twins are introduced to the estate, and everyone remarks on how huge they are. The Riverside Silver Estate has its new members. The Silver River Merchant Guild is in high spirits. Well, everyone except for Ja-eon, who is circling around after his place was taken by Jinyon. There hasn't been a quiet day since his return. The day before yesterday, he brought a ton of cash from God knows where, as well as 2 huge dudes to join their squad, and he just turned it around. Rumbling catches his attention, and he turns to see what's going on. Members of the squad are bringing huge carriages full of merchandise. Hwa-eon tells the guards to park the wagon and carry the important cargo inside. Ja-eon quickly runs up to his elder brother, asking what's all this about. He looks at the contents. No way did they get a 100-year-old knotweed. People have to line up at dawn to buy these elixirs. Master Lee arrives, telling Ja-eon that he ordered it all. Hwa-eon rushes towards his father, telling him to be careful. He's too weak to come outside. Master Lee tells his son, it's not a big deal. He's feeling much better. Ja-eon looks at his father expectantly, asking what he's going to do with all of these elixirs. He starts to get his hopes up that since Jinyon only asked for one, and his father bought so many elixirs, some of them must be for him. But his hope is crushed when his father reveals that they're all for his older brother. He starts to throw a tantrum about his brother getting all the elixirs. His father explains that a single elixir won't be able to change their fate. They need to get Jinyon in the best shape of his life so that they can survive after they have made the Guyang clan their enemy. It's not much, but they have to do it. He's also sent word to all the business associates they work with and his friends at the Great Merchant Guild. Appoint them to send as many high-quality elixirs as possible to help the guild overcome this crisis. If their family falls, everyone will be affected, so they need to take this seriously. Appointing Guyang as captain of his guard was his mistake, and it's his responsibility to make up for it. He turns to his captain, who is commending him for an excellent decision. Young Master Jinyon would surely become a superior martial artist in the future. Everyone is pinning their hope on Jinyon, just how remarkable he is. Ja-eon feels neglected. No way is he getting the middle child treatment, even though he's the youngest. His father grins, telling everyone it's wonderful to be able to spend all the money he has earned his life on his son. Ja-eon looks at his father in disbelief. No way is the old man going to slash his inheritance just so he can buy his brother elixirs. The sun shines brightly, and Ja-eon is training furiously with a wooden sword. He remembers the exchange he had with his father where he asked, "What about him? Where are his elixirs?" His father just looked at him hyperventilate and asked if he needed any elixirs. Presently, he's teleporting all around the courtyard with his wooden sword, venting his anger on dummies. He complains about everyone caring for Jinyon while he doesn't get a sip of any elixir. This is discrimination. He curses Jinyon for getting all the luck in the world. All of a sudden, he hears a rumbling and an unstoppable object moving towards him at breakneck speed. His brother is running towards him with a huge boulder tied around his waist. Ja-eon looks at him in horror and quickly steps out of the way. Jin-yeon yells at his brother to get out of the way. He's on his walk. Ja-eon looks at his brother running away with the boulder trailing behind him. In what world is this a walk? His brother continues to work hard, and Ja-eon wonders why. When he's born lucky, he lies on his back and looks at his wooden sword in anger. The sun starts to set, and Ja-eon is still practicing his swings on a wooden dummy. He yells, recreating the scene from the assembly in which the wild child reacted as if he had predicted the captain's movement and struck him on the chin. Ja-eon remembers how Jin-yeon had sent the vice-captain soaring through the air. He sighs, calling his brother a jerk. Jin-yeon arrives next to Ja-eon, asking who he's calling a jerk. Ja-eon quickly shies away, asking what he is doing over here, and what about his walk. Jin-yeon replies he finished, and is Ja-eon trying to copy him? He hands his brother a sword, telling him to copy his movements, and it looked like he was copying Gu Yang's last movements pretty well. Ja-eon starts blushing out of embarrassment. Is his brother really complimenting him? He raises his sword and drives it through the dummy. Jin-yeon smiles, saying it's pretty good. Ja-eon also cracks a smile, but it immediately vanishes when Jin-yeon explains it's just as lazy and sleazy as Gu Yang's last step. His brother complains that he can't give a compliment, but instead of a compliment, he's about to receive a punch to the face. He quickly blocks it with his wooden sword. Jin-yeon explains that when he broke through the feint and closed the distance between them, Gu Yang became flustered and could barely defend himself. He swings his leg, and Ja-eon quickly scurries away, telling his brother to hold on. Why is he attacking? And they talk it out. He grabs his sword and rushes towards Jin-yeon, but Jin-yeon is nowhere to be seen. He appears behind Ja-eon, explaining that fighters will use their greatest weapons in their time of need. Ja-eon realizes that the distance between them is equal to the distance between heaven and the earth. A fist is a few inches from his chin. He almost died right now. Jin-yeon explains that stabbing is inferior to slashing, and the sword Gu Yang had could kill in one blow, so he was on guard. If they can be faster than the single moment a swordman draws his sword, then victory is guaranteed. He remembers in his past life, he was so strong he wouldn't have let a man like Gu Yang draw his sword, but in his current state, he's only 1/4 as strong as he was. He's still not satisfied with defeating that weakling because even when he was the first king, he was taken down by the demonic sect. He needs to get stronger than he was in his last life. Someone tells Jin-yeon that he has company. Jin-yeon flicks his brother on the forehead, teasing him and leaving. Meanwhile, Wang tells his bros that he really saw it while on his way to Myung-ho's gambling house. Everything was blurry because he was drunk, but he saw Jin-yeon walking with the twins and taking everything of value. His bro asks if that's really true. Wang assures him that that is. His other bros still don't believe him. Gook raises an eyebrow, and they barge into Jin-yeon's room like old friends. But instead of seeing a sickly womanizer, they see a buff martial artist standing with the twins. They are so scared that they slam the door shut and run away, asking if Master Lee has adopted a new son. The others are trying to catch their breath. How can their friend with a stickman figure turn into Arnold Schwarzenegger? Is he really one of the 4 heavenly kings who live by booze and die by women? Jin-yeon comes out and tells the twins to go to the dining hall and eat. He tells the trio to come in. The trio freezes, wondering if someone will help them. The self-proclaimed 4 heavenly kings who live by women and die by booze are 4 delinquents from famous families. First up is Gyuk, who dreams of becoming a martial artist. Second is a student with irritable bowel syndrome, Jar Yang. Third is heir of the Western Wind Security Escort Agency, Wang. And lastly is the troublemaker heir of the Silver Guild, Jin-yeon. They were a band of playboys that gathered after the gambling den to drink the night away. Today, they are gathered after hearing about their friend's miraculous return. Right now, the atmosphere is so stiff it can be cut with an eye. Jin-yeon wonders if they are just as bad as Myung-ho, but from the memories he's inherited, they look like genuine people, drinking the night away, going after women, and even having a name for their gang. One of them asks if he's doing better, and just how ripped he is. Wang also grabs and squeezes his arm, which is as thick as a log. Guk can also sense lightning energy around him. They've heard rumors about him defeating Gu Yang. Is it true? They wonder. But where did he learn martial arts? Jin-yeon tells them that he had a fateful encounter, and also that Jin-yeon is already dead. The trio freezes, asking if he's lost his mind. What is he going to do now? What are your plans? One of them wonders. Jinyan exclaims that he has a debt to repay to someone certain. He'll prepare for that while working in the guild. All he cares about now is getting stronger. The trio realizes that something has happened to their buddy. He is no longer the womanizer they all knew and loved. Gyuk raises an eyebrow. He remembers having a conversation about Jinyan going to the safe house. Jinyan confided that he is being exiled. His father is disappointed in him. Gyuk told his bro to do his best and change, get healthy, study like hell, and turn his life around. Jinyan just laughed bitterly, hoping that he could. Presently, Gyuk pours Jinyan a drink, smiling proudly that he really has changed. Jinyan looks at the trio as they celebrate his return. They also laugh together, and Jinyan, for the first time in his life, also laughs. It looks like Jinyan really had real friends before his reincarnation. He pours them a drink and tells them that he has changed. And what about the trio? The trio asks, what the hell is he talking about? They can't change, no matter what. Jinyan tells them that he can't be with them anymore. They smile bitterly. They all thought that they were frogs in the well, but it looks like one of them has hopped out. He remembers all the times they had with Jinyan, and how he seems like a different man, ready to see the world. They have a fun night together, and they wish Jinyan all the best, telling him to get big and strong so no one pushes him around. Jinyan waves them goodbye, and they turn to leave, thinking that the biggest troublemaker out of them would become so mature. Gyuk feels lonely tonight. After all, he lost his best friend. His buddy wonders if he is going to go to the brothel, but he yells at his bro to go and study. It's time to turn their lives around as well. Meanwhile, a member of the Guyan clan is bowing before a man in golden robes. This is the leader of a more powerful sect, the Socion sect. This man is Ji-sang. Ji-sang wonders if the heir of the Silver River merchant is really that strong. The messenger confirms that he defeated the captain with only 30 blows. They rush to save him, and they could do nothing in front of his overwhelming might. He was strong beyond imagination. Ji-sang asks the messenger what weapon Jinyan used. He replies that it was only his fist. They can't believe that a great swordman fell to a youngster in a fist fight. What a shameful death. The messenger asks Ji-sang if he is going to avenge their captain. Ji-sang wonders why. It was a fair duel. It wasn't a murder or something, and they are not members of the demonic clan. The messenger still pleads with him to get vengeance, but in the next moment, Ji-sang kills the messenger, asking why he would dirty his hands for someone who's already a corpse. He tells his other members to take out the corpse, and also tells the baddie by his side not to worry. It looks like the silver merchants are refusing to pay taxes, and they also killed the captain. Ji-sang wonders how he should deal with them. One of them says that it looks like they don't even consider their clan as a rival or a problem. So, will he kill the boy? Ji-sang tells his members that they can't go around and kill anyone they don't like. But it's also true that they can't leave them unattended. That's when the loser trio also walks past Ji-sang. Gyuk hears Ji-sang talk about how he wants all of the silver merchant's money. Master Lee is quite the salesman, and rumor has it that he has more money than he knows what to do with. So it's only natural to measure how much ransom he would be willing to pay for his hair. Gyuk hears that and runs to wake up Jinyan in the middle of the night. He recounts everything, and Jinyan only rubs his eyes. Gyuk wonders what they should do. The clan is a mysterious thorn on their side. They're plotting something with the Guyang clan to stab them in the back. Later, Jinyan puts on assassin clothes. Gyuk wonders what the hell is going on. Jinyan wonders if he knows the way to the clan's secret base. He needs to hurry up and get dressed in the robes. He wants to be back in time for breakfast. Gyuk realizes that this man is going to storm the clan's stronghold single-handedly. He tries to talk some sense into his brother, but Jinyan has already made up his mind. He also calls Gyuk, a future martial artist, asking him to show him the way. Later, they arrive at the clan's stronghold. It is filled with mercenary soldiers and clan members. Gyuk reminds Jinyan that he won't be any good in a fight, but that's okay. Jinyan expected that. The whole stronghold is teeming with guards. Gyuk wonders how he'll take down the leader. Jinyan smiles and kicks the front door open. He's going to do it as he did in his last life. Jinyan never ran away from a fight, not in his past life, and he is not going to start in his present one. When he was an orphan, he always squared up against bullies. Even in his toughest days in the city, he never backed down. Even when he earned the title of First King, he always stood up for what he believed was right. And that's what he is going to do today. He stands in front of the clan, 1 man against 1,000, because he has always enjoyed a good fight. He walks past all of the members and asks one of them where the leader is. The members cough. Does he really think he can barge in? But before he can complete his sentence, Jinyan grabs his head, snaps his spine, and asks the others if they want the same treatment. Jisung finally arrives, asking who he is. Jinyan nonchalantly answers that he is an assassin, and is he the leader of the sect. Jisung has never heard of an assassin who marches through the front door to take down people. He notices the calluses on Jinyon's hands. He remembers the envoy telling him that the heir to the Silver Guild uses his fist as a weapon. He deduces that Jinyan must be the heir. He never imagined that his target would present itself on a silver platter. But it works out for him, and he won't refuse his kindness. A net springs around Jinyan, but Jinyan manages to dodge it with the blink of an eye. He quickly glances at his opponents. It's been a while since he took on multiple foes. The last time he did, it ended badly for him against the demonic clan. He grabs the net, swirls through the air, and makes quick work of anyone unfortunate enough to stand in his way. Today is going to be fun, he smirks. He swings the net around and manages to slash anyone in a 10-mile radius. Blood, guts, and arms fly around him, and the other members immediately lose their will to fight. All they can do is wonder who this monster is. Jinyan notices something fly past him at an impossible speed. It grazes his cheek and tears his mask. Jisung smirks. He wasn't going to use something so expensive on a lowlife, but it looks like he'll have to treat him to something special. He brings out his crossbow, and the other members pin him in place. They realize that this is a suicide mission. Jisung tells Jinyan that he might be talented as a warrior, but he can't dodge a series of crossbows fired together. A volley of arrows shoots towards him at an impossible speed. Jinyan smirks. This bastard is willing to sacrifice his own disciples. Even the dark, demonic clan would disapprove. A voice calls out to Jaeyeon, telling him to catch. A small dagger shoots towards him, and he grabs it and deflects all the arrows surrounding him. Jisung can't believe that this man just deflected a whole barrage of arrows with a single dagger. He turns to see Gyuk and smirks, giving him a thumbs up. Gyuk also smiles and returns to his station. Jinyan swirls the dagger around and chucks it at Jisung. Jisung manages to dodge it, but his neck is still grazed. Jinyan smiles, telling the unfortunate clan leader that he doesn't use knives, so today is going to be a special treat for him. Jisung shudders, then asks the other members to shoot down that fool before he comes up. Too late. Jinyan leaps from rooftop to reach Jisung. He clenches a couple of pebbles in his fist. That bastard uses the girl as a meat shield, and this infuriates Jinyan as lightning crackles around his fist. A huge explosion wrecks the entire mansion, and the woman nervously looks around. Surprisingly, she's safe and standing next to Jinyan. Jinyan tells the girl to get behind him, and Jisung trembles. His entire clan is extinct. Even though the heir of the Silver Guild is still so young, the way he's fighting right now resembles that of a seasoned veteran. Jinyan looks at the fool, asking what is he thinking. Does he have anything to say? He trembles and tells Jinyan to hold on for a second. He has a lot of money and treasure stored up in his vault. He needs to think about it calmly. If he lets Jisung live, he promises to pay Jinyan as much as he wants, so that he won't want for anything for the rest of his life. As he tries to negotiate for his life, Jinyan has already made up his mind and stomps on Jisung, bringing his pitiful existence to a fitting end. He also grabs a couple of gold coins scattered around Jisung, wondering why they keep thinking money is equivalent to a person's life. He grabs the coin and clenches it in his fist, telling Jisung that he can keep his riches, and he hopes they are useful in the afterlife. Jisung realizes that this is the end. The girl holds her breath, and Gek gasps in surprise as Jinyan stabs Jisung with a Viltrumite slash. He looks at his bloody hand and calls it filthy.